Tragedy has struck in the skies over India on Thursday as an Air India Boeing 787-8 flying as Air India 171 has crashed shortly after takeoff into a crowded residential area just outside the Indian city of Ahemdabad. Now, this accident affects me personally because I myself am Indian. So, and I have cousins who live in Ahmedabad, but I myself live over 600 kilometers away in the neighboring state, Telangana. According to eyewitness reports, the plane tried to take off. A plane attempted to take off from Ahmedabad's runway 23, but was unsuccessful in its attempt. A dual engine failure post-takeoff is suspected, and the plane didn't make it that high. It only made it a maximum of 425 feet off the ground before crashing back down the earth. And I apologize to any geeks out there. And yeah, because yes, I know this is not the right delivery or the right model of plane. This is a Boeing 787-9, and in my defense, there was no 787-8 for Air India available. Because this is a Royal Air Morocco. And getting back, like nine, like 171 only was able to get out on May Day before it crashed into a medical hospital. I mean, crashing into a medical. We're crashing into a medical hospital just about 1.8 miles away from the runway. And tragically, there were 230 passengers and 12 crew members on board for a total of 242 aboard. And of those 242 people, only one survived. A 40-year-old Indian man seated in seat 11A. And his miraculous survival has brought up the question of what is the safest seat on a plane, as many believe now that that safest seat is seat 11A, because of this man's miraculous survival. He got out on his own strength, mind you, so don't blame anyone there for believing in that. The plane, however, was completely destroyed. It hit a medical college straight during lunchtime. And the worst part is 33 people on the ground were killed. Well, it was confirmed today, okay, because by yesterday the only death toll we had was 245, 241 on the plane and 4 on the ground. But that fatality count has now risen by over 33 to over 33 ground fatalities for a total of 274 dead. There are many theories as to why the plane crashed. Some of them say Hey, some people say that the plane it took off without flaps, and it does look like that in the video, but the plane did have flaps 5 extended. And now, why was only flaps 5? I don't know. Well, maybe they retracted too early, and right, and yeah. So, but the most probable cause of this accident was dual engine failure after takeoff. This is backed up by a an Indian Boeing employee turned whistleblower, Sam Salepe. And he had been working with Boeing for over 40 years, and he claimed that the disasters that Boeing employees were constantly changing the parts around and forcing them in ways they weren't supposed to be forced. And were the planes were rendered unairworthy. And this is the reason in March of 2024 had air that Boeing was stripped of their self-certification permit and needed to be certified by the FAA. And thorough checks were carried out on older aircraft. The planes, however, weren't much safer because in March of 2024, a LATAM Airlines Boeing 787-9 plummeted plummeted over 400 feet while flying from Sydney to Santiago, Chile, via Auckland. Thankfully, this happened on the first leg between Sydney and Auckland, because this drop was so violent that multiple people were injured, some seriously. If this happened over the South Pacific, that would have meant they would not get any type of aid for hours at least. But getting back to Flight 171, the plane had the plane can be you can tell the plane's engines failed from two things. Number one, in the video there was no sound until until the plane crashed, and then there was a thunderous boom. So, a roaring 787 bound for London should have at least some engine issues, but no, those were also missing. This is further backed up by some people on the ground claiming they heard a buzzing noise from the plane, indicative of the plane's ram air turbine, and which does make us very faint but very noticeable buzzing sound. So Flight 171 also, and it is also visible in the video that the plane was completely. It was also visible in the video of the rear turbine that was coming down right behind the left main gear. And the landing gear is another thing. They can retract unless there is zero, unless there is no engine power, and the plane at its max altitude of 425 feet was basically the landing gear was either supposed to be retracted or in the process of being retracted, because you're supposed to retract the landing gear after positive rate of climb is achieved. What, whatever the case may be, my heart lies with those who lost relatives and loved ones within. I am so sorry for your all losses. I will be posting update videos, so stay tuned. But for now, goodbye, and may those lost in the disaster rest in